So I would like everyone to please stand up for the prayer. So in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. So before we're going to start, I'm going to check your attendance. So let's do the countdown. Alright, so everyone is present today. So before I formally start our discussion, I will group you into two teams. Since you already have your groupings, so groups 1 and 2 will be the team A, and groups 3 and 4 will be the group team B. So I have prepared a game. Do you like to play? Alright, so I have here 2 balloons with 2 sets of colors. We're going to play Pop the Balloon Challenge. So, in Team A, I will give you 15 balloons, red balloons. And in Team B, I will give you 15 blue balloons. So, here is the mechanics. So, each group will have 15 sets of colors. At the first signal, the first students of the line must race to their bag and pull out the balloons as quickly as possible by sitting on it. When they have popped their balloons, they must race back to their team, to the next person on their team, and it must be finished in just 3 minutes. And the team will pop the most balloons will receive a prize. Now, are you ready? Alright, so I'll bet everyone is ready. So let the challenge begin. So I guess everyone is enjoying the activity, right? Alright, so Team B popped blue balloons most compared to Team A. So now, I have a question. In the challenge, how many colors of balloons do we have? Very good, we have 2 colors. What are those colors? So we have red and the blue. And we have 2 quantities of colors. How many red balloons have popped out? So they have 7. And how about the blue? They have 13. So in conclusion, blue balloons pop out most compared to the red balloons. Now, based on the activity that we have, what have you observed? Yes, Rufa. Very good. We are comparing 2 quantities, which is the red balloons and the blue balloons. And comparing 2 quantities is ratio. So, ratio is comparing over 2 quantities. And in ratio, it can be written as word form or column form and fraction form. So back from the activity that we had earlier, how we are going to write ratio of red balloons to blue balloons. So in word form, we can write 7 is to 13. And in column form, we can write 7 is to 13. And on the other hand, in fraction form, we can write 7 over 13. Okay, are we all clear? So now, I have here another activity. You are going to arrange the puzzle. So in the puzzle, there is a blank space. All you need to do is to write your answer in column form. The team that will finish the task will have a prize. So here is the puzzle. This is for Team A and this one is for Team B. Okay, now that the activity is done, let me ask, did everyone enjoy the activity? Okay, very good.
There are 2 kids, namely Ayla and Kit. Ayla has 6 candies while Kit has 3 candies. Therefore, the ratio of candies Ayla and Kit have is written as 6:3. This can be read as 6 is to 3. We can also write it as 6 divided by 3.
Hello, my teachers! Since we are done tackling and discussing about how to get the ratio, we will now proceed to equivalent and its simplest form. So how to get this equivalent and simplest form? Actually, there are some strategies or activities that we can use in the future. But first, let me define what is equivalent ratio. Equivalent ratio are ratios that are the same when we are comparing them. So equivalent ratio is not just talking about one, but two or more ratios that if we can compare them, they are the same. So let's say, for example, Maureen has 4 books and 8 notebooks in her bags. So the books of Maureen is 4, and the notebooks are 8. So what is the ratio of Maureen's books and notebooks? Very good. Maureen's ratio of books and notebooks is 4 is to 8. Or also, can you written as 4 is to 8. So, how to get the equivalent ratio and its simplest form? Simply is this. We will write it as fraction form. Like that. And we will find the GCF. The previous groups defined what GCF is. So what GCF is? Yes, the greatest common factor of these two numbers. So we will find the common factor of this number. For 4, we have 2 and 4. For 8, we have 2, 4, and 8. So what is the greatest common factor of the two numbers? Very good, 4. So we will divide it to our GCF. So 4 divided by 4 is 1. 8 divided by 4 is 2. So our simplest form is 1 is to 2. So first, let us find this. There are 4 books and 8 notebooks. But the simplest form is 1 is to 2. In one book, there are 2 notebooks. That's how to find the equivalent ratio and its simplest form. The simplest form is the lowest number or the smallest number. So the smallest number is, this is now our simplest form. And this is our equivalent ratio. It is easy to find our equivalent ratio and simplest form is we know how to get our GCF or the greatest common factor of the two numbers.
Thank you, Mr. Kahulao, for the comprehensive discussion. So before anything else, I would like to introduce myself. I am Krista K.R. Espayos, and I will present to you or introduce to you a very fun learning activity that you might use to your future students. So the name of this activity is Pick Me and Count Me. So what are the mechanics or how we will do this activity? So for this activity, I have a mystery box here. And there are two certain objects inside of it. So all of you will get or pick one inside of it. And if you already got one, you will go to your co-teachers or your classmates that got or picked the same item as yours. Is that clear to everyone? Let's start picking. I will start this side. So I think everybody got or picked an object. So for those who got spoons will stay this side, and for those who picked forks will stay this side. So I'm also requesting somebody from your group to please count how many got spoons or how many got forks. Is that clear to all? Very good. Okay, how many picked spoons? Okay, 8 spoons. Okay, 8 spoons. How about how many picked forks? Okay, 12 forks. So, in this ratio, or if we turn the spoons and forks into ratio, it will be 8:12. So if we turn the ratio 8:12 to its simplest form, we will get 2:3. Why? Because we will simplify this ratio 8:12 to its simplest form that cannot be simplified anymore. And the equivalent ratio of this 8:12 is, it can be 16 over 32 or 4:6. So equivalent ratio means you will find a ratio that if we simplify this ratio, we will get the 2:3. Is that clear to all? So this activity, Pick Me and Count Me, are very useful to your teacher students, or you can use this strategy so that your students will having fun in the classroom as well as learning. That would be our activity on this topic, equivalent ratio and its simplest form. So we will now proceed to the next topic, which is the 3 kinds of proportion.
If one quantity goes up by a certain percentage, the other quantity goes up by the same percentage. So what does this mean? For example, let's provide a real-life example. When you buy an apple, let's say the apple costs around 10 pesos. If you buy 2 apples, times. Now, let's multiply. 3 times 10. So, 3 over 3. And then 5 times 15. So when we do this, 5 times 15 is equivalent to 17. 5. Very good. We'll write 5 and then multiply 3. So let's do this now. We will now combine fraction because we are dividing the two numbers. Can we divide 3 over 3? This will be automatically cancelled out, which will leave us with a n. Now, 75 divided by 3 is equal to how many? Very good. Half 25. Then we will copy. So, how many did Jill sell that day? She sold 25 used papers. Now, this is the example. This is how you can solve that portion using the modified method or the cross multiplication. Any questions regarding the discussion of the portion? Anyone? None? Okay, that's good. Now I have here an activity for you that I want you to answer. This is an engaging activity that will be done by groups. Since we have discussed what direct proportion is and you know how to solve it already, here is our activity for today. Now this will be a group activity, so I request everyone to please go to their groups. What are the directions for this group activity? We will be doing a treasure hunt. So procedure or how to play this, students will be divided into 5 groups for this activity. Inside the classroom, activity sheets will be posted. Okay, so on the left side, the activity sheets will be posted, and on the other side, it will be the answer. The word problem will be posted on the right side, and the answer will be posted on the left side. Let's look here. Students will race down to the other side of the room to match the answer by selecting an activity sheet and answering it with their respective groups. The first one to finish answering will race down to the other side of the room and match the answer. Now, is everyone ready? Yes, everyone is ready. So can I request everyone to please go into their groups and select a representative.
Good day, my dear students. Let us proceed to discuss about inverse proportion. Now, what is inverse proportion? Inverse proportion is a proportion where an increase in one quantity causes a decrease in the other quantity, or a decrease in one quantity causes an increase in another quantity. Now, inverse proportion means opposite. So, if one quantity increases, the other decreases as well. That is why inverse proportion is also called as indirect proportion, because it is the opposite of direct proportion. Do you understand? Okay, very good. Now I have here a problem about inverse proportion. Let us all read together, class. Okay, if it takes 20 workers 8 days to harvest coffee in a plantation, how long would it take 16 workers to harvest the same plantation? Now, there are 20 workers and only 8 days to harvest coffee on a plantation. Now, the solution here is that from the question, we have 20 workers and then workers that take 8 days to work. So now this means that one worker will take, so this equation, one worker equals 20 times 8, since muna siya ang 20 workers then 8 days. Now we calculate the time it will take for 16 workers. We will calculate the time. So 16 workers equals 20 times 8 over 16. Now, when we solve 20 times 8, so 20 times 8, what would be the result? 20 times 8 zeros C. Okay, so 20 times 8 equals 160. Now, when we then over 16, so 160 divide 16. Okay, what will be the answer? Very good. 160 divided by 16 is equals to 10. Thus, 16 workers will take 10 days because if the quantity decreases, the other quantity decreases. So that's the concept of inverse proportion. Therefore, the lesser the worker, the number of days are increasing. Okay, so do you understand about inverse proportion, class? Okay, so very good. Now let us move on to the other kinds of proportion, which is the partitive proportion. Now when you hear the word or term partitive, what comes to your mind? Yes, Jezreel? Very good. So when we hear the word partitive, we we tend to think that partitive is serving to part or somewhat dividing into parts. Okay, so what is partitive proportion? Now, partitive proportion is used if a whole is divided into two or more unequal parts. This is also shows the total number of an object distributed into two or more unequal quantities. Now, let's have this problem. Now, altogether, read. A glass of jar has 64 chocolates. Jeff, Leah, and Dave will share the chocolates in a ratio 1:1:2. How many chocolates will each other get? So, in solving this problem, there are steps in solving partitive proportion problems. Now, step 1 is to find the sum of the ratio. So the ratio here is 1:1:2. Now we will add this ratio since step 1 says that find the sum of the ratio. Now, so 1 plus 1 plus 2, what will be the answer, class? Okay, very good, 4. Now if we add this ratio, the sum will be 4. Now step 2, divide the base by the sum. So the base is the total number of chocolates, which is 64 rather. Then divide 64 by the sum. So 64 chocolates, this is our base. And the sum is 4. So what we're going to do in step 2 says that divide the base by the sum. So we will divide 64 divided by 4. Now what will be the answer, class? Yes, Mary Jane? Very good. 16. The answer is 16. 16. Now for the last step, it says in step 3, multiply each quantity by the quotient. So meaning, if we have the quotient 16, now the quantity here, the ratio again is 1:1:2. Now we will multiply. Now 16 times Jeff gets 1. So 16 times 1 equals 16. The other ratio is 1. So 16 times 1, 16 as well. And the other ratio is 2. Now 16 times 2 is equals to 32. Now Jeff will get, so in 64 chocolate in jar, Jeff will get 16 chocolates. Leah will get 16 chocolates as well. And then for the last, Dave, he will get 34 chocolates. Now let us check if our answers are correct. Let us add the number of chocolates each one of them get. No. If Jeff has 16, then Leah has 16 as well, and Dave gets 32. So the answer is, so Our answer is correct. 64 is the answer. Now, here we see that there is 64 chocolates. Always remember, class, that in partitive proportion, a whole is divided into parts that is proportional to the given ratio. Is it all clear? Do you understand about the concept of partitive proportion, class? Very good. Are there any questions? Any clarifications? Okay, very good. If none, so thank you guys for listening, and I hope you learned a lot from this discussion. That would be all. Thank you.